We are going to work on an assignment called Black Boy by Richard Wright. But first I wanted to just quickly review what we've done so far this week. First, we started out with learning about Nick V, who had no arms and no legs, and despite that, he overcame his adversities and became quite successful. And you wrote a Malcon paragraph in response to that, focusing on what traits he had that helped him become successful. After that, we watched a quick video and read an article about Pete Gray, who was a professional baseball player who only had one arm, and we also wrote a response in regards to what traits he had that helped him become successful. Thursday, we have already taken an Alabama literacy test and learned a little bit about the Jim Crow laws. And that was all in preparation for today, Friday's assignment, which is just an excerpt from an autobiography about a young African-American man who faced many adversities. And despite that, he overcame them, and he became an author of several books. So when you look at today's assignment, our essential question is the same as it's been all week. What characteristics help people overcome adversity and become successful? Your objective or goals are to be able to read this excerpt, which is from an autobiography. Look for literary devices within the writing that make it especially rich and interesting and beautiful. And then also use active reading strategies as you're reading to show that you can comprehend and connect with what you're reading. First thing you want to do is watch this summary on Education Portal. You're probably going to need to log in as me. So right here it'll say sign in, and you'll have my username and password to put in there. This is a very short video. After the video, you'll come back to the assignment and take this Google Forms quiz. And here's what it looks like. Be sure you hit submit at the end. And if you want a copy of your responses, you can always click on that button right there. You're more than welcome to go back to the video as many times as you need to. You could have both of those tabs open at the same time if you'd like. After completing that quiz, you're going to read this excerpt here. And it's been broken up into chunks. As you read, you're going to look for these three things: an example of personification, an example of imagery, and an example of alliteration. If you don't know what these terms mean, you can click on the hyperlinks. Some of them have examples and definitions, and some of them have videos. And this is actually a really fun video to watch. If you happen to get this screen, you can do two things. Either make sure you have https://. If you have that, the next thing you need to make sure is that your safety is off. And then you should be able to view the video. So, if you need help with these, you can click on the hyperlinks. Once you find examples of them in the text, you're just going to highlight them in yellow. So you click here, make sure you're on highlight, and go to yellow. And you want to label it. So I would just put personification in parentheses. Now this is not an example of personification. I'm just showing you how you would complete that. The next thing you want to do as you're reading is answer the questions. So what I always tell you is to read a text twice. I would the first time read this through. Don't worry about answering or looking for personification, imagery, or alliteration. Just read the text. And then as you read through the second time, you can think about these questions. The first one is describe the mood. Gosh, Mrs. Gill, I don't remember what you mean by mood. We'll click on this link. This will show you. And then as you go down here, this is very heavy on dialogue. So, and it doesn't say who's saying what, but you'll understand it because it's the little boy and his mother. You're going to make some text connections. And there are a few questions that you'll be answering. Down here, I want you to identify the different types of conflict. We have talked about those, but if you need a refresher, you can watch this YouTube video. Also, we've discussed author's purpose, but if you, again, need a refresher, you can click on this. And there's a video, and then there's also several graphics. You can click on these to see the graphics, or you can click on the videos. So there are lots and lots of resources here to help you with this assignment. If you have questions, I prefer that you stay in your seat and chat me or email me. But I think everything that you need will be here right on this page. Just make sure that you have this page open, and if you open your resources such as alliteration or personification, I would just go ahead and leave those tabs open so you can go back to them if you need to. So if you needed a reminder for what this was, go ahead and just keep it open. That way you can just flip across the top when you need information. Also, don't forget that every day this week we're doing a daily survey. Just asking how you're doing. Hope you're doing great. If there's anything I need to know, make sure you fill that out. And I prefer that you do that at the beginning of the class. So have a great time with today's assignment and chat me if you have questions.